Hey everybody. Before break, we started talking a little bit about triangle angles, and this week we're going to focus on interior and exterior angles of triangles. And we've already talked about interior angles a little bit, but I want to make sure that we refresh our memory because these can get a little bit difficult depending on what the question is asking you for. So, interior triangle angles. Think back to when we talked about the parallel lines and the transversals. Interior, what does interior mean? Interior means inside the triangle. So I'm looking at my triangle here, and I've got three angles inside the triangles, and I have to know something about interior angles in a triangle in order to do this problem. So the fact that I know about interior angles in a triangle is very similar to supplementary angles. Both of them do what? Good. Both of them add up to 180 degrees. So make sure you have written down that interior angles of a triangle sum to 180 degrees. And that's going to tell us exactly what we need to do in order to solve this problem. Because the word sum simply means what? Good, it means addition. So I need to add up my angles here. I've got 2x plus 10. Since I'm just going to be adding them up, I'm just going to leave out the parentheses because I don't need them anymore. So I've got 2x plus 10 plus 3x minus 9 plus 6x minus 19 is going to give me a total of 180 degrees because we said that all three of those angles have to add up to 180 degrees. So now I've got my equation. Now I got to make my t-chart. Very similar to when we looked at the supplementary angles. First step, or the second step after we make our t-chart, obviously. Second step is to combine like terms. So I've got 2x, I've got 3x, and I've got 6x. So I'm going to add those together. 2x plus 3x is 5x, plus 6x is 11x. So I've added my x's together. Now I have to do my numbers. I've got 10, negative 9, and negative 19. So make sure you're super careful when you're doing this. 10 minus 9, that's going to give me positive 1. 1 minus 19. Be very careful here. Remember, when it's 1 minus 19, you're going to get a negative number because the smaller number is the positive. 1 minus 19, that's going to give me negative 18. So I've got 11x minus 18 is equal to 180. Next step is I got to get rid of that minus 18, so I'm going to add 18. That's going to cancel out there, leaving me with just 11x is equal to 180 plus 18 is going to give me 198. And my last step would be to divide by 11. And I'm going to use a calculator just to make sure. 198 divided by 11 is going to give me x is equal to 18. Now, here's where you've got to pause. When you're doing this on Delta Math or on a formative or on a quiz or on a test, make sure that you know what the question is asking for. This one, I didn't really put a question in because we're going to solve it all the way out. We're going to do all the steps. However, there might be a question that says, here's your triangle, find x. Boom, we're done. We've already found x. There might be a question that says, find angle C. So once we have x, now we got to plug 18 in for angle C to find angle C. Or you might get a question that says find all three angles, where you have to plug in 18 for all three of those angles. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to plug in 18, find all of our missing angles, and make sure that it works. All right, so we left off by saying that x was equal to 18. Now we're going to find each of our angles in that triangle. So angle A is equal to 2x plus 10. So in order to figure out angle A, what do we have to do with 18? Substitute it in for x. So angle A is equal to 2 times 18 plus 10 So angle A is equal to 36 plus 10. So angle A is equal to 46. So angle A is 46 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and substitute that in, 46 degrees. Let's look at angle B. Angle B is 3x minus 9. So I got to plug in x. So angle B is equal to 3 times 18 minus 9. Be very careful when you're doing this multiplication. 3 times 8 is going to give me 24. Carry the 2. 3 times 1 is 3. Add 2 is 5. So that's 54. So angle B is equal to 54 minus 9. So angle B is equal to 45 degrees. So we've got 46 and 45 degrees. And the last one is angle C. I'll fit it in right here. Angle C is 6x minus 19. Plug in 18, so 6 times 18 minus 19. Angle C is equal to 6 times 8 is 48. So I've got an 8. Carry the 4. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 4 is 10. 108 minus 19. So angle C is equal to 108 minus 19. Well, 108 minus 10 is 98. Minus 9 more is going to give me 89. So angle C is 89 degrees. Now I'm going to go through one more step here just to double check. Make sure that this is the correct answer. We've got 4, we're going to add these together, make sure that it adds up to 180 degrees. So 45 plus 46 plus 89. 45 plus 46 is going to give me 91 plus 89 is going to give me that 180 degrees, which means that we did this problem correctly. So just to refresh our memories, we want to make sure that we answer the question that's being asked. If it says find x, then boom, we're done here. If it says find A, then boom, we're done here. If it says find B here, find C here, find all of the angles, then you have to do all of this. So make sure that you're looking for what the question is asking. All right, now we're going to turn our focus to an exterior triangle angle, because there's a special relationship that forms with the interior angles and then one exterior angle. So in this diagram here, make sure you draw this diagram on your paper because this is going to be super important. I've got a triangle in here. Let's call it ABC. I've got triangle ABC, and then line BC is extended out. We'll say it's through point D, and it just keeps going that way. All right, so we've got triangle ABC. Line BC is extended out till point D. So this right here is going to create a straight line. So think about what the angle measure is of a straight line. And we talked about this in the beginning of the video. The angles inside the triangle and the angles that make up a line, they both do the same thing. They both add up to 180 degrees. Because this angle plus this angle, these are supplementary angles, so they add to 180. And these are interior angles in a triangle, so they add to 180. And we're going to use that to create a new formula or a new situation here. So we've got a box here, we've got 30, we've got a question mark. We have to diagnose what this means. What does that box mean on that angle? How many degrees is that angle? You should say that that is a 90-degree angle. So we've got a 90-degree angle, a 30-degree angle, which means what is our missing angle? So if I add these together, if I do 90 plus 30, that's going to give me 120 degrees. What could I then do to find that missing angle? Well, I would just take 180 degrees, subtract 120, and it's going to give me 60, which means that my missing angle in here is 60 degrees. So my angles inside the triangle, 90, 30, and 60. Now let's look at that exterior angle. I'm going to put the question mark on this angle here. Now, going back to our parallel lines and our transversal, if we have supplementary angles, we know that they add up to 180 degrees. So I know that 60 plus something is going to give me that angle there. So if I do 180 minus 60, it's going to give me my missing angle. And 180 minus 60 is 120 degrees. So looking at what I just did here, how is this exterior angle related to these two non-adjacent interior angles? Well, if we add these two together, it's going to give us that angle, and that's going to work every single time. Whatever diagram I draw, if I extend one of the lines, that new exterior angle is going to be equal to the sum of the two interior angles that are non-adjacent to it. Remember, what does an adjacent mean? Adjacent means directly next to. So it can't be the one next to it because we know the one next to it is supplementary. So this one is equal to the two angles added together that are not directly next to it. So these two angles here. So let's look at an example. All right, I moved in a little bit closer so you could see this one here. So we've got this triangle here. We've got triangle GHI, and we've got line GH is extended through point J. So we've got one of our lines is extended through another point. And we've got angle G here is x plus 8. Angle H is 3x plus 13. And then angle HIJ is 6x minus 5. And the question asks us to find the measure of GHI. So it wants us to find GHI. It wants us to find this angle in here. And all we know about that angle is that it's 3x plus 13. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to know that the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two non-adjacent interior angles. So the one adjacent to it is right there. And we know that those two angles are supplementary. But we also know that that angle is equal to the sum of this angle plus this angle. So let's use that. We know that this outside angle is 6x minus 5 is equal to the sum of these two angles. So x plus 8 plus 3x plus 13. And boom, there we go. I've got my equation. And on my equation, I need my t-chart. Now, this is a little bit more complicated than the last one because we got x's on both sides. But our next step is still the same. Combine like terms. Can't do anything to the left, but on the right side, we can combine x and 3x to give us 4x's, and we can combine 8 and 13 to give us 21. So we've got 6x minus 5 is equal to 4x plus 21. Next step, let's get our x's on the same side. So I'm going to subtract 4x, That's going to leave me with 2x minus 5 is equal to 21. So now we've got all of our x's on the left. So let's get all of our numbers on the right. Let's get rid of that minus 5 by adding 5. 2x is equal to 26. And then divide by 2. So that x is equal to 13. Now, again, double check. Make sure that we're doing this correctly. We found x, but we're not done with the problem. We have to find the measure of GHI. So angle GHI, that little m just means the measure. So the measure of angle GHI is equal to, GHI is 3x plus 13. So now all I have to do is plug in 13. So the measure of angle GHI is equal to 3 times 13 plus 13. So the measure of angle GHI, 3 times 13 is going to give me 39 plus 13. Measure of angle GHI. What is the measure of angle GHI? Well, it's 39 plus 13. So what is 39 plus 13? 52. So angle GHI is 52 degrees. So this chapter has been all about using our definitions, using what we know to solve for what it's asking us to find. In this one, we use the exterior angle theorem to figure out x, and then we used x to figure out our missing angle. So make sure you go back to those definitions, use the definitions to create your equation, and then use your equation to figure out what you don't know.